Good morning everyone. Today we're going to fit a switch on the internal of the tailgate of the T6. So usually with these vans sometimes you don't get a switch on the inside to open. So on the outside you've got a switch here. These are now powered switches, handles. So when we open the handle from the inside, from the outside, what happens is it's actually power driven and not the usual clunk click that you get with the usual doors. And usually you don't get a switch on the inside. You used to have a handle that you pull, but now it's just like a little electronic switch. So what we need to do is add a switch on the inside so that we can open. So what you need to find on here is here, and what you have is this blue plug here. What you need to do is splice into these two wires here. So there's two wires here, and to splice into them. One wire into that one, one wire into that one. Once you splice into those two wires there, you feed the wires up, and wherever you want the switch, you can have the switch here in the middle of the panel, or I'm going to put the switch inside this panel here. So that's going to fit to there like it does usually, and I'm going to put a switch on here, like a little push switch. That's a switch I found on eBay. It fits really nice into here. I'll put a link in the description where to get that from there. And it's just a case of feeding the wires up from the switch here in parallel, straight up here, out here, and up here into the switch there. Okay, and for anyone that's interested in the lining of the back of the van, what we've done here is we've put you can't see it, but there's silent coat we fitted first in here, which is the sound deadening. Where is it? Here we go. This is the sound deadening silent coat. It's a bitumen covered self-adhesive, and what it does is it makes it, as you can see, very thick. Reduces road noise quite a lot. And then we've covered that there then in this foil, in this thermal liner. You can see it's quite thick foam with an aluminium backing. And then what we're going to fit on top of that then is the recycled plastic insulation. That's the white insulation from B&Q. Don't use rock wool, because rock wool will absorb water and it will start rotting in place. The plastic aluminium, the plastic, recycled plastic, won't absorb any water at all. So any water that gets into here, it'll just run down and it'll run out through your drains at the bottom there. Okay. So just to show you what that switch does. So if we pretend to lock the van now, that's it. So that lever now should be locked. Take it in all the way like that. It's locked with a plug. So basically what it's doing is shorting the circuit out here. So once those touch together, that will open like that, you see. Okay, so what we'll do, like I said, we're going to run a wire from this here and this here. Those two are going to run up to there, and up to here. Okay, so splicing in. This is what I mean by splicing in. What we do is we melt the insulation from the cable here with a soldering iron, then tidy it up like that. I tend not to cut the wires when I'm splicing in, because if you cut the wire, then you're introducing a potential fault, because that could work loose at some point, and then you'd lose the continuity. So melt them away like I've done there, and then with the cable that you want to add in, you just wrap it around the old one like that, and then you introduce solder then. Solder that, and then you tape it up like that. Okay, so what I've done here is depinned the connection out of the blue plug here. That's only because I can use a heat shrink tubing over the soldered joints. You don't have to do this, but this is what I like to do. So what you can do, as you can see, I've pushed it into there and it's gone top and bottom. See there, it's gone in top and bottom, if you can see that. Okay, now you can buy these tools from a place called AliExpress or Amazon or something like that, and what they're called is depinning tools. That's what they're called. These are only a couple of quid that these were here, and what they're handy for is taking these connectors out of these plugs. Now that's what I've done. That's what I like to do. Take these out of there, put a bit of heat shrink on there, and then use a heat gun just to go over it, and then put it all back together again, tape it all up again. Okay, so once you use your heat gun, that's what you're left with. Nice and tidy connection like that. Then you can just feed the cables up and follow the old one, which goes up here, up there. Cable tie it, or you can tape it up black like I do, and then feed it, like I said, up to the top here, and then that plug can then go back into there like that. Okay, so that's it, all back together again. Plugs back in, your heat shrink tubing, and I've used Tessa tape on here just to tidy it up. Tessa tape's really good stuff. It looks like original tape you get in cars. And then you just run the cable up, cable tie it to the original loom like that, all the way up to where we're going, up to the top here. Now it's important when we're running cables that you make sure that they don't chafe anywhere on the steel work. So make sure when you're cable tying it to your original loom that it doesn't chafe anywhere on the steel work. Now I've used one red cable and one black cable that you notice on the wiring, and it doesn't really matter, to be honest, because all you're doing really is crossing these contacts. But I have put the red cable on the positive side. There was like 4 volts on one of these, so I've put it on the positive side just for myself, just to know which was which. But it doesn't really matter what you're doing, because you're only bridging the contacts on there. That's all you're doing. Okay, so the next step then is to put all the cover back on the back, and then we're going to add a switch onto here, which will go onto the plastic cover here, and that there then will let you open your door on the inside. Okay, so we've temporarily wired in the switch, twisted the wires like that just to give it a trial. You'll find that the black goes to the black and the white goes to the red, and then once we've locked the boots like that, we can then press the button and that will undo like that. Perfect. Press the button, that holds it, out it goes. There is an illumination wire as well, but I think that needs a 12 volt feed for that wire to work. But apart from that, all you need to do now is put your proper connectors on here, your spade connectors or your bullet or whatever you want on there. I would use connectors, because once you feed it through here and you want to take this off at any time, then you're stuck with the cables. So on mine, I'm going to be fitting it in the middle, about here somewhere. Yeah, so just to do that, you just need to drill a hole for the back here onto there. Drill that, and that goes through there, and then screw it on at the back. I'm going to be carpeting the whole panel here, and I'm also going to be putting something over the back over this as well, which is why I haven't fitted the switch. But that's how the switch works anyway. And you can... Hi everyone, just to finish off, this is the black plastic that goes on the back here. I put the switch here, This is from eBay. It's quite a good one. It's got the boot symbol, and it doesn't protrude much in the back like that. The cables, you want to put your 2 wires from your switch to the black and the white wire from the switch. The red is for illumination, I think, but I'm not going to put that on mine. Yeah, so if we lock the boot, that's the boot locked, then we can just press the button here, like so, and you can see it's unlocked there. So that there just goes on there, and that goes over like that onto there, just to finish off. Okay, hope that's helpful to everybody. If you want to have a go at that, please like and subscribe if you like it. Thank you very much.